Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Today is day 105 of the war in Gaza, the 105th day that the hostages are still being held against their will. Soldiers are still fighting. So many people are worried about their family members not knowing perhaps even how they are doing. And we continue to daven for all these people to hold them in their hearts, continue to try to increase the merit for them through acts of chesed, tzedakah, extra mitzvahs, Torah study. And we hope the Shabbos will bring protection and peace to everyone. This week's Erev Shabbos Videos of our Torah is being sponsored by Mervyn Sharon Algy, and we thank Mervyn Sharon. Thank you very much for sponsoring in memory of Merv's sister, Hillary Mafsowitz, Hilela Batzviela Shalom, whose yahrzeit is today, Friday, the 9th of Shvat, and her neshama should have an aliyah. Towards the end of this week's Parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu commands the Jewish people the mitzvah of Karban Pesach to be performed that year in Egypt, and also it was the model for how it would be performed into the future for so many generations once the Jewish people reach the land of Israel. And the Torah, Moshe Rabbeinu commands the Jewish people, V'yichu lahem ish selabes avos selabais, that a family or an extended family, a clan, should prepare a sheep, and then they would prepare it and offer it the 14th, and then the night, the 15th, there's a mitzvah to consume the Karban Pesach that night. And it was forbidden to leave anything over. There was an obligation to make sure that the entire thing would be eaten that night. And that was another reason, another motivation to eat a Karban Pesach, not just in your nuclear family. If it's just 2 adults and several small children, that won't be enough to finish the entire animal. And therefore, naturally, there would have to be larger groups, and often that would be Sela Beis Avos. It would be extended families, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents. However, sometimes the Torah itself predicts that a family, even an extended family, will not be large enough to finish an animal. And if that is so, V'im Yimat Habayis Mios Misa, and if the family is not large enough, V'lakachu Ushcheno Hakarova Beiso, so then friends should get together, neighbors should get together. Thus, the Karban Pesach promoted the centrality of the family. It also strengthened bonds between families. Rav Hirsch also says that it created a very insightful observation from Rav Hirsch. He points out that this also created sort of a natural way to invite others who are in need, either in need because they could not afford an animal, or in need because they didn't have such a large family or happy family, and they weren't going to enjoy Pesach. And because of these halachos, because of these details, a person can invite someone else, and it wouldn't be clear that it was because we think the guest is in need, and the guest needs the host. Just the opposite. The host would reach out to a guest under the cover, and sometimes sincerely, by saying, we need you. We need you. Our family's not large enough. We happen to get a really large sheep this year. We're not going to be able to finish it. We're going to be in violation of the Torah. Will you please come and help me properly fulfill the mitzvah of Karban Pesach? And thus, it's not just the bonds of friends, but there is built into the mitzvah of Karban Pesach was an opportunity to do chesed, hachnasas orchim, to be inclusive, to reach out to others, to help those in financial need, and to do it in a way that would not make the person feel that that they are just a weight or a bother or a responsibility that has to be dealt with. It would not make the person feel little or small or unsuccessful, but it would be in a way that would be an expression of love and inclusion and connection and really teamwork of celebrating and fulfilling the mitzvah together. One lesson we learn from this is that chesed sometimes must be done, kindness must be performed with sensitivity, with tact, and with wisdom. That sometimes we may want to help someone who may be in the need of help, but we have to know how to do that. Sometimes we can reach out in a way that could actually make the person feel worse. In an exaggerated sense, we say, oh, you're so unfortunate. Oh, it's so bad that you don't have enough money. Why? We wouldn't say such a thing, but even in less overt ways, we have to make sure that we perform chesed in a way that makes the person feel better, that helps maybe a discrete, concrete problem, challenge, issue, but in a way that makes the person feel good and increases their joy and their self-worth and their appropriate self-pride. There is a pasuk in Tehillim. The verse reads, Ashrei maskil eldal, b'yomer al yimel teo Hashem. Fortunate is the one, maskil eldal, who is thoughtful for the poor person, who helps him on his bad day. The Talmud Yerushalmi writes, Ashrei nosin ladal inksav. It doesn't say how fortunate, how praiseworthy is one who gives to the poor, but el ashrei maskil eldal, one who is thoughtful, who shmistakel b'mitzvah heyach lasosa, the one who is thoughtful, who performs the mitzvah chesed with thoughtfulness, with wisdom, with consideration, with tact. Sometimes it's important, if we take the model of Karban Pesach and Hachnasas Orchim, to reach out to someone to say, I know you're having a hard time, or I know you may be alone this Shabbos. Come join us. Come join us. And that'll make the person feel better that you see and recognize whatever struggle they may be having at the time. But at the same time, in the opposite direction, sometimes a person, doesn't want that sort of noted explicitly. And rather we should reach out and say, come, not mention what the reason that we may think the person needs it. Just come, we want to invite you. Come, you'll help make our Shabbos meal better, right? We want you. Are you available to join us to make our Shabbos table so much nicer? We have to know how to do the chesed, how to word it, how to phrase it. Sometimes we're not sure. So we should try our best. Sometimes we may make a mistake. But the main thing is, if we're not sure, just to do it with sincere love and concern. And normally that makes everything go over well. Ashrei maskil eldal, may we all have the right wisdom and insight and tact to perform chesed from a place of sincere love and mutual respect, and the common bonds that unite us to be part of the Jewish people. May we perform the mitzvah of chesed properly, as is modeled by the mitzvah of Karban Pesach. Good Shabbos, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.